Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So we fade back in on Jewel sitting at the bar, sipping your morning beverage from one of your nice new chairs. The Waterdeep Gazetteer folded on the counter. The rest of you have come down from your evening's rest, and another summer day in Waterdeep lies before you. What are you doing?
What have you got there, Jewel?
They're arresting a bunch of Zentarum because of the whole attack on the Growl Hunts, which I find hilarious and ironic because the Growl Hunts were definitely down with that attack in some way. But that would probably explain why they were after Davil.
Yes, did they say which Zentarum they arrested? Is there any names? Was that fellow with the burns one of them?
Were names listed in the paper? Urstal Floxton.
No, there are no names listed in the paper, but there is this implication, kind of reading between the lines. There's this implication of like, if you know anybody who might be a part of the Zentarum Black Network, please speak to your local constabulary. Like they're like, we're seeking information about this thing. If you know anybody, or you know anybody who might know anybody, let your local town guard know. Yeah.
Well, it's more likely that Davil has gone to ground than been arrested.
Probably. I'm guessing they would say something about Davil being arrested, like the leader of the Zentarum in the city.
Yeah, totally.
He's not that.
You sound remarkably like them.
I was doing an impression.
Yes.
That was the point. Thank you.
Must have gotten it from your mother.
Damn, cold.
My mother was a very talented bard.
So
was mine.
if you name dropped her, you could just have people bowing to you, and you don't want that?
Not everyone. Only people who know performers. That's why I don't normally use my mother's name or my father's name.
Because you don't want people bowing to you and treating you nicely.
Then they pay attention to you, and it's much harder to steal things when someone's paying attention to you.
Well, they'll just give things
after my uncle.
Jewel.
No one knows about him.
You don't have to steal things if you're worshipped. They hand them to you.
That doesn't seem right. I feel like I don't think it'll work that way.
I think it will someday.
Well, I hope it does for you. I hope someday you are more famous than my parents.
That would be nice.
What is the real
and alive to enjoy it.
Are your parents dead?
Oh, they're still alive. But your fame, I don't want it to be the infamy kind. You seem very pro-death a lot of the time.
Yes, that is kind of what being a
But I don't want you to be dead and famous. I want you to be alive and famous. I was trying to make a nice...
There are many ways to be dead, Jewel.
Oh, true. Didn't think of that. Do you want to be a lich? And she like leans in on the table.
Yeah, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
You're working for?
I wouldn't say no.
I feel like you
wouldn't want to, live.
She can't be a lich.
Why not?
Yeah, why
Arcane
not?
Spells.
What do you mean arcane spells?
Liches are
It
wizards.
means the difference between your divine magic and the magic performed by wizards means that you are incapable of casting the spells required to become a lich.
Well, then I'll make someone else do it.
She Julie kind of like
possible, but that's different.
Does like an air pat to doesn't touch Vicaria, but does the I think you could do it. If anyone in this world can become an undead evil monstrosity and rule over everything, it's you, Vicaria.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
And probably the nicest thing she'll ever say.
I'm done with talking for the day. Let's walk around some more.
Oh, we're still doing that. That's right. Okay.
All right.
Unfortunately.
So where do you want to search this time?
I
what
still think we
district?
should start around the House of Inspired Hands.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of covered the whole dock ward, right?
Yes.
Okay, then let's do the Sea Ward area. Right, where the House of Inspired Hands is, and then if that doesn't work, do the North Ward.
This
Or
is the
Growlhound.
path. I made it.
You can
me
pretty
see.
much do like a single
Yeah.
ward a day by like walking around. So you want to search the Sea Ward and the rest of like the North Ward today?
Yeah, that's the path.
Okay.
I've done it, and it's 20,500 feet.
Right. Sure.
Thank
I
you.
don't know how many
4
square.
miles.
I don't know how many square.
8 has
feet
done
that
this.
is.
8 has taken out a map and drawn it on the map.
Yeah, so it's approximately like 4,000. Yeah, about 4,000 square feet.
5,000 Yeah, 5,000 feet's a mile. Then it would be like 4.5 miles.
That's totally dope.
4.5 square miles, I think, feels like a lot in one day. But
You don't need to go through all the little.
We're
bits.
not square. It's not square miles. It's just walking down streets.
sure, yeah, it's still like a
We're not
lot. Though.
canvassing the whole fucking area.
So based on here's the thing though, based on last night's discovery, you have to be within like about 500 feet before it like pings.
God, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
so
throw
we
this thing
need
in
to
the
do it.
garbage and hope I run into the nimble right by accident. That's how fucking useful it is.
You have to be close. Yep.
If I know where the nimble right is within 500 feet, why the fuck do I need the device?
Yeah. I mean, Nim's not.
Oh, I'm salty. This is stupid.
There's no like
searched the
scrying, like I
goddamn
can't take a map and like
Lane by
do like a
lane.
pendant on it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have locate object yet, do you? That's a 3rd level spell, right?
No, I don't have locate object.
That is correct.
Okay, let's just go.
So you just want to search.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so like it is like tiring and hot and boring work, and you go like street by street wandering up and down. You get a nice deep foot tour of the part of the Sea Ward and the North Ward, but it gets dark and you have found nothing. The day comes to an end.
I'm actually just going to burn the entire city
Like,
down.
that's it. We're done with Waterdeep. Burn this city
Yeah.
to the ground.
Mad Mage time. We got to level 5 somehow. We hunted balls for ages. I don't know.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, so that day is like a wash essentially. You use your rations. Where do you want to search the next day?
So locate object is a 2nd level divination,
Okay.
which means I could prepare it,
Okay.
but it has to be within 1,000 feet of you.
Okay. And what would the object be?
That's double the range.
And and what would the object be, right? It has to be describe or name an object that is familiar to you. Is a nimble right an object?
No.
Yeah.
What about
You
a
can
nimble
locate
right?
a specific object known to you as long as you've seen it up close within 30 feet at least once.
Yeah. So
What
You
about
can
a
also
bit of-
locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
right, like I need a sword. Where's the nearest sword within 30 feet?
Nimble Right's faceplate.
No.
They've got those weird goatee things.
That's like saying a human liver. Like a human liver isn't an object, it's part of a human. Until it's not in the human anymore.
But and then is it an object? Could you?
Then I
search-
suppose you could search for it, yes.
Okay.
Like
What's
a
the
steak.
field?
A steak is an object, but a cow is not an object.
What's the field ward? He lives there.
What's that? The field
Do
ward?
Nimble Rights live in the field ward?
I mean, there's not like the noble right at like a place where they live. They're not people. They don't have like their own. Yeah. So basically, you can cover an area. Do you want to go search the field ward?
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do today?
Sure thing.
I want to go to Troll Yard. What's that?
I don't know. I assume it's got something to do with trolls.
Have we looked near the Growlhound? Right, we did the rest of the North Ward yesterday, right?
Yeah.
No, you didn't go east of where. Like you searched the place that Dave drew out.
Okay. Enough walking down streets. 500 feet is not fucking close enough to anything to do anything if we walk down main streets forever. North Ward, the whole deal. I will crosswalk all the streets until we fucking definitively decide that there's nothing here.
Okay. So you want to search today? Search the ward. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We're gonna fall out for it. We're gonna open every single container for raw material.
I will walk through people's houses. fucking stick in their
Just
face,
walking through the house. Okay.
Excuse
All right.
me, this is a private.
So yeah, you're basically
Get out of my way.
you're searching like that now today, this particular ward. And I think like if you start at your house and then you go like, I'm drawing a complicated diagram, you go like that, like through the ward heading south. Yeah, nothing occurs for the majority of the day. Like most of the day goes by with no effect. And I think like an hour or so after like you've stopped, you've set back out, it's just starting to get dark, and you're approaching the city of the dead. You can kind of see it in the distance. The Nimblewright detector goes off. You're like right here when it goes off.
Okay.
Yeah, you're at the corner of Avine and Gathune.
All right. Well, last time this happened, I could point it in a direction and figure out where I was going.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it looks like it wants you to go south.
where are we going? Okay. So I guess we go south that way.
Okay, so you follow it, and it leads you south down Gelthune Street, and then east on Golden Serpent, and then you find yourself right here in this alley, in Catch Thief Alley. Right there.
Okay.
I don't like the name of this alley.
Right. You come around the corner, and you see in front of you that you like we follow you, point the thing, you're like, haha, and it's like boop 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 boop, boop, pointing at a pile of trash.
I swear to God, if this is Zardoz and he just like pops his head out of the trash, like, yo,
Hello
what up?
there.
I brought my Nimblewrights.
I'm gonna cut it straight off.
I've been following you. How are you? Excalibur.
You're very, very interesting. All right.
So yeah, it's pointing at like a pile of trash.
Okay. Well, I approach the pile of trash with the beeping.
Jewel, this is your favorite.
Boop, boop.
She hears both the insult and also the harsh truth.
Hey, look, a pile of garbage.
All right, I get my.
Sometimes garbage is actually just garbage. And yeah, she like draws a weapon and
Stab the garbage.
like probably she does not stab the garbage. Like, yeah, I feel like if Rin's approaching head on, Jewel would like sidestep around so that like if it tries to bolt in a direction, if it is awake, then we can stop it.
Okay. And the idea here is you're gonna just like grab a piece of garbage and like pull, just like dig through it.
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, if this is where it says the thing is.
Yeah, there's like a tattered like tarp or whatever, and you grab it and you yank it aside dramatically, pointing your sword underneath. And yeah, you see under the garbage, it's missing an arm and has like several like obvious like battle wounds on it, including a like a knife. There's still a knife like sticking out of its side. You see the Nimblewright, and it is dead as hell. It is immobile. It's just laying there, and it's got under its arm like a leather. It has a leather strap attached to like a shoulder bag. The shoulder bag has been cut open, and it looks like there's like whatever its contents are, some papers and like trash on the ground next to it. It looks to you, Jewel, like someone who got robbed, stabbed, and thrown in an alley.
I guess this alley is not aptly named.
And with the discovery of the Nimblewright, thus ends chapter 3 of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Yeah, it just
Oh,
ends right in the middle of the thing.
We did it.
So everybody
Wandering around.
everybody gains a level. So you're all level 4 now.
Yeah,
love
walking paid
Um,
off.
Yeah, and that is the end. That is the end of chapter 3. So let's level up. Let's do that, and then we can start. We can start in on level season or rather chapter 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody wanna roll their hit points?
Oh God.
I
Probably
do.
not, no.
I always roll my hit points. I don't care.
Do it.
Let me just check.
Yeah, I should be checking some things.
Fighter. Fighter. I get it to me. Feet.
So what are you doing, Dave? You're gonna take another level of fighter?
Okay.
Yeah.
I roll 1d8.
All I get ability score improvement.
Is it plus my con mod? Plus my con mod.
Yes, plus or minus your constitution.
7.
Nice. You have a +3 to your constitution?
Yeah, it's my second best stat.
Oh, okay.
I have a good con and a good whiz and shit everything else.
Okay, fair.
I am not rolling my hit points. And I get an ability score improvement, which
Improve your dexterity.
yeah, I might just bump my dexterity up by 2 because it's 90% of what she does. So it's always one of those. I'm like, I could put 1 point, but that would be useless. So I may as well just either improve something. Yeah. All right, and now we're extra dexterous.
Good job.
Extras.
Extras.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just get an ability score improvement or
a
feat.
feat.
Oh man, though. Fifth level sounds great.
Ability score improvement for me as well. So I just upped my charisma to 18 and my wisdom to 12.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
You're so charismatic.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
What I want, I think.
the thing I do. I also get a new level 2 spell and a new cantrip. Yay!
Cool.
Yes, I do. Great.
I took a feat.
Yeah. What are you gonna take?
Shield Master.
Nice.
Is there anything cool that I could do?
What when you level up?
Yeah,
Like
is there
for
anything
feats?
cool that other than just like putting points into abilities that I can't ever get to a good amount?
I mean, everybody's gonna tell you to take Warcaster.
But I don't ever use a weapon because I have -1 strength, -1 dex.
You could multi-class. That's interesting.
I mean, it depends on your stats, right? You have to have like a decent stat to multi-class, and nothing is based on con.
No, I don't have any good stats. I have
You
0
can't
good
multi-class.
stats.
You can't multi-class. Yeah, you just get more spells. Clerics, I mean, your level ups aren't flashy.
I know, but I was just talking about feats mainly. Is there any cool
I mean,
feats?
again, Warcaster is the like common one, so that you can like do better at concentration saves.
Yeah.
You
But-
could try and carve out some sort of extra niche for yourself. Like you can be the observant one because you've already got a higher wisdom. You could
Yeah, that's
never
true.
be
You can take
surprised.
alertness or, one of those sort of generically useful ones.
Can I
Yeah.
take is a lich?
No, that's not a feat.
Damn.
Sorry.
It isn't my game. I homebrewed it.
Is a lich. Cool, I take it at first level.
Yeah.
Variant human, lich.
Very inhuman.
Very
straight
human
into-
lich.
Variant human
Ow.
that is a lich.
Jesus.
Listen, Dave put it in the game. I'm allowed to use it. So
Oh, okay.
Were there extra feats? Were those in Xanathar's or were those in?
yeah, there's some
Yeah,
feats in
racial
Xanathar's, but can half elves take human elf feats?
Sometimes, yeah.
Let's take
I can't remember.
It depends.
So,
think some of them-
elf. What kind of elf are you?
What kind of elf am
Oh,
I?
you can take elven accuracy or prodigy.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, Prodigy sounds good. Where is this? What page?
Prodigy's not as good as you think
73.
you think they sound. They
Okay,
were
but it
only
sounds
really good in
cool.
the 90s. So you gain a proficiency in a skill, 1 tool, and fluency in a language. You choose
and you
one
can
skill that
get
you have
expertise
proficiency, and you become an
in-
expert in that skill.
Right. There's not really anything cool.
Yeah, elven accuracy is increase your dex, int, wisdom, or charisma by 1 whenever you have advantage on an attack roll using dex, int, wisdom, or charisma. You can reroll one of the dice once.
Yeah, but I don't attack a lot.
I mean, you have attack spells that use wisdom.
Wisdom. Yeah. Where's that?
Xanathar's.
Elven accuracy.
Elven accuracy, yep.
Wisdom.
Be a +1 to wisdom.
When you have advantage on the attack roll.
Yes, if you already have advantage, then you get to reroll. It makes your advantage on them better.
But I don't have anything that gives me advantage on attack rolls.
That is correct.
So that's also kind of useless.
Well, I mean, you'd have to find chances to do that.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Man, if only I were a drow, I could get drow high magic and do detect magic and levitate. That'd be sick. Anyway,
It would be sick. I agree.
I'll probably just give myself 2 or 1 ability score improvement.
So you're just gonna take the ability score improvement?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. That sounds fine.
Look how shieldful I am.
So shieldful.
I go, you're smaller than me, and I go, shield. I go, I bonk him over, I fall down.
Shields are pretty good if you have the right like feats to make them real good. They can be super useful.
Yeah, shield master is a good one, and I think I'll take sentinel 8. Level 8. That's the dream.
You won't get there in this adventure, but that's okay. Cool. Okay. All right. And then Jewel, you just took everybody except 8 didn't. You just took advancements for your abilities.
Some extra dexterity.
It's a good call. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, especially because now it's +4, which and I use it so much. It's probably better than any feat I could pick up.
I get a feat at 6. Oh, hell yeah.
Unless there's a feat someone would recommend, but I don't think so.
And then level 8, I could get my second 20 ability score.
Nice.
Hate you so much.
Yeah, it's cool. You have all these rad abilities for fighting things.
Oh, I guess that was the.
Yeah, it's good. I'll fight.
Okay.
Has chapter 4 got any combat in it?
I cannot tell you that.
Because chapter 3 didn't have any.
Zero combat. This is a 0 combat.
It was my least favorite chapter so far.
I cannot tell you the answer to that question. Cool. Okay. So everybody's got
Chapter
their
4.
Yep.
Someone lost their pet cat somewhere in Waterdeep.
now you must
Pet
find
cat
it.
detector. This time it's only 100 feet range.
Okay. All right.
I'm good. I took detect thoughts as my other new level 2 spell, and
Sweet.
and message as my
Those are both good. I like those. Good choice.
I agree.
Okay.
Still
Good.
haven't taken prestidigitation because it's more fun to be upset about being dirty.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I like mending clothes. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Ooh, or dual wielder.
Yeah. Still thinking about it.
I think I'll stick with the dexterity, but I do like the extra bonus to AC, and you draw both weapons at once. And one of them doesn't have to be a light weapon, so I could use a rapier with a short sword.
Okay. Cool. So is everybody leveled up then? We're all good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well then we'll return to the same scene we left. Jewel has unveiled the body of the Nimblewright, now disabled and destroyed. Laying like clutching a bag that's torn open, and it looks like this Nimblewright was jumped, stabbed, and discarded in an alley. What would you like to do?
Oh, I was really hoping it would just be like, here's the next plot point. Search him properly, right?
Yeah, probably search him
That's the first
properly.
In case someone left a note on his corpse.
Okay.
No.
You find on the Nimblewright's body, obviously anything of value has been taken. Anything of obvious value is gone. The bag contains bits and pieces of paper on which you find a number of like sketches of varying quality. You recognize one is a sketch of the the Temple of Gond, the House of Inspired Hands. One appears to either be a self-portrait or a portrait of Nim. It's hard to say which. Another is a sketch of the Lady Growlhund. There's a sketch of the old man with the dogs. There's a sketch of them. And these are all like muddy and they have like boot prints on them. They've been like, some of them are torn in half and they've been like dug through. And among the bits of paper, you find a folded up piece of parchment. And I need everybody to make a perception check, just like real quick. Nice work, Dave. Okay.
Haha, it was Zardoz the whole time.
So, yeah, I see you found my nimble right. So, Rin and 8 both noticed this. When 8 picks up this piece of paper, there is a faint, like, sort of cloying smell that kind of wafts from it, and both of you recognize it as the perfume that the Lady Growlhund wore the last time you saw her.
Oh.
Like, you smell that smell. And when you unfold the paper, on it there is a map that Macaria, you recognize. To everybody else it looks like a bunch of like squares and lines, but for you recognize the varying curving pathways that lead between the mausoleums of the City of the Dead. One of those mausoleums has a mark on it, it's got an X, with the word Castellanter written on it.
As a real quick point of order,
Yeah.
only Rin smells that.
You can't smell?
It doesn't
Okay.
have a sense of smell.
Okay, there you go. So Rin, you smell
Like
that.
me.
What is it? It says Castellanter.
Castellanter.
Do I recognize the word?
You make a history check if you want.
Sure. 16.
Okay, let me see what you'd get with a 16.
Castellanter.
Castellanter.
Not like Castle Enter. Like
No,
the name.
I'll spell it for you.
Like Castellet?
No. Castellanter.
Mm.
Okay, well I don't have like an easy kind of like blurb that I can give you, but they're nobles. It's a noble family.
So maybe it's their tomb.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Okay.
A lead has been found.
The paper. It has to have come from Lady Growlhund. There's no other smell like that perfume of hers. And it is
So-
over this thing.
I think Jewel then goes,
I mean it's actually very subtle. Like you have to really like
Yeah, she,
sniff
like,
it
shoves
real
her
hard to get it. Yeah.
kitty face in that.
Yep.
So this nimble right was in the employ of Lady Growlhund,
Perhaps.
and she's led it to the City of the Dead. Oh, by the way, that's what this is. The City of the Dead. Obviously, fool would know.
Sure. It seems possible that she got some information via the Zentarum and then was working against them, but maybe didn't tell them. So was doing the whole kind of bait and switch, double whatever. Where
I can't speak to the intention, but if there's a marked tomb somewhere, we should probably go and see what's there.
Mm. Yes, well, I'll have to.
I look forward to your negotiation, Macario.
In seeing this body upon the
You have-
floor, I feel as if I have learned new combat tactics that I would like to apply on something.
Okay, well, first we should bring this corpse thing to the woman who wanted to make sure it was dead, right? Get 500 gold, buy me some very expensive clothes, and then we'll go to the City of the Dead and I can shove at everyone's face how rich I am now.
I don't think that's the plan for the 500 gold, but good try.
Yes.
I mean, given we don't have a way of bringing it back to life and freeing it, we may as well get the 500 gold for it.
It's sad, but it happens.
No reason to
Actually, it's not really sad.
No reason to leave it. Adam, is there anything particular about the knife that's like stuck in it, or is it just like a?
Make an investigation check.
Sure.
Its hilt is curved into the shape of a winged serpent.
No, it's just like a cheap knife.
Okay.
Good knife for sticking in somebody's back. It's the knife equivalent of like a 38 special. Like it's just like
yeah, it's just like
you've seen this knife in a back or two in your day. Actually, probably not. But yeah, it's just like a shank, basically.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
maybe-
then.
Jewel does a really quick like look up and down the street just to make sure there's no obvious like, did the person do this recently? Should we try and find that and then be like, let's go to.
Now you know, Macaria, that night is falling soon. In which case the city of the dead will be closed, which would mean you'd have to get over the wall. Like they shut the gates, you'd have to get over the wall, and there are like patrols in the city of the dead, so that people like you don't sneak in and fuck around with the mausoleums. People don't get in there and spray paint Merkel rules on the side of somebody's mausoleum.
Probably
Bane
already been
lives.
done. Anyway, well, if you want to go today, we should probably to visit the city of the dead earlier than later, seeing as you'd think that they'd be more fond of nighttime visitors, but they really aren't.
Well, we said we were going to bring proof, not the whole body. So, maybe
It's expensive. These things are expensive. Isn't that what that man said? We should take it and sell it.
I believe he said they were expensive, but yes, they are.
Yes.
I'm not opposed to that.
And H just like grabs and shoulders the nimble right.
So do you think we should wait until morning and then head to the marked tomb then?
Well, do you think it's time sensitive?
Probably. I mean, this.
Well, we're very close to Troll Skull Manor. We can drop this metal corpse off and deliver it later. It's not going anywhere.
We still don't have a lock for our door.
Yeah, nothing is safe at your house, technically.
Nothing is safe anywhere, technically.
I mean, okay, yes. That's true, I guess.
Very existential
in its own way, yep.
Jewel, the thief, does not disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, does anybody have like urgent use for their share of the gold? I don't think I really do. I still have a couple of weapons.
No, but it's a matter of the corpse.
I mean, it's fine. It obviously is not a pressing matter for anyone. So leave the metal corpse in the trash, and we'll just go to the city of the dead.
I mean, I'd be fine with throwing it in our place and then going back. I think I thought the issue was more the security on the city of the dead. Do we want to go during the day?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh no, I don't like. I was just like, do we want to go now or do we want to go tomorrow? The security is someone going to steal this thing from our house if we just toss it there?
Then it sounds like the perfect option is to go and hand this in now, while we can't go to the other place we want to go, and then go and do the other thing when we can.
Okay.
I mean, we can go now, is what he said. It's just we'll have to go right now.
Well, no, I mean, you'll get there and they'll be like, cool, you got about 20 minutes to like walk around before this place is closed, so make it quick.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we can turn the
We'll go give the nimble right
over.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So you want to head back to the house-inspired house. Okay. All right. So you head back in that direction, and you find yourself before the shining, and it's really quite like impressive at sunset, right? There's this, it's beautiful, the sun reflecting off the big brass dome. It's quite a majestic sight, and you head up with this like, what are you carrying the nimble right in?
I don't know.
There was a
Just got it
tarp
over
covering
my
the
shoulder.
trash.
No, I just got a corpse. Just a robot corpse.
Yeah, like over your shoulder.
Yeah. If it's still like together enough to maintain.
Yeah, totally. Okay, all right. Okay. So you
daring someone to try and mess with me.
you head inside.
Don't
You
feel
get a
allowed
few
to
looks. Not you, 8, because you're a wagon cart basically. But like Rin and Makari and Jewel, you get a couple of looks of like, yep, like, oh, I've been there. Malfunctions, huh? Yep, you're in the right place. Like you're walking into a repair shop with like a bus, like you drive your busted car into and these other people are like, yep, someone will fix that. You're in the right place. You get a lot of like nods of reassurance and kind of like, cool. I don't think anybody recognizes this, this
I'm
body.
looking for our bronze dragon friend.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask someone to see if you can like get a hold of her. What was her name? Valletta.
Valletta, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you have someone go and fetch her for you, and she arrives. And yeah, I mean, 8, are you just holding this thing in your arms, or have you dropped it on the floor, or what? Okay.
No, pretty much I'm still just holding it.
So she walks up, and immediately a smile takes over her dragonborn face, and she grins and she says, "Aha! Good. I thought you'd be able to do it. Where was it?"
It was taken care of. Where it was, not important.
Well, I mean, it is a bit important. Why
it
don't
was
you?
in the garbage.
What do you mean?
Hiding.
It was thrown in the trash.
Thrown by whom?
That wasn't what you paid us for.
Why are we being so cagey about this?
Because that's exactly what happened. It was thrown in the garbage. We don't know or care by whom. She asked us to retrieve it. We did.
And where did you find the body?
Some alley somewhere. Are you familiar with every alley in the city?
I just want to be able to send someone to investigate in case it left any traps or caused any other harm that we need to undo.
It was left by Catch Thief Alley and Golden Serpent Street.
Thank you. Well, it's dealt with now, so that's something. She looks over and you see like an acolyte. She's like, "Acolyte," and this acolyte runs over with like a cart, and she says, "Just throw it in there." All right, so it crashes down onto the cart, and she says, "Huh, good. Well, one less dangerous machine out on the streets. Have you informed the city guard already about your discovery?"
No.
No, don't worry about it. I'll take care of that. We'll liaise with them. I've done it before.
I'll leave it to you then.
Good. Now, I believe I promised you a reward.
Yes.
One moment. And she heads off to like an office, leaving the group of you in the room alone.
Yep. Just hanging out in the main hall area.
Okay.
I wonder if they still have the other Nimblewright locked alone in an empty room.
Probably.
Okay. And without too much time, she comes back holding a bag of coins. So yeah, so she walks up and she holds the bag out, I guess, to Rin, and she says, 500 gold, just like I promised. A job well
Perfect.
done.
Thank you. Hopefully that gives some peace to your search.
Well, I mean, I'm going to sleep better knowing that this thing isn't wandering around causing trouble.
I happen to agree, but shame we couldn't find it alive.
I don't understand. I mean, finding it disabled, it seems like most of your work was done for you.
Motivation would have been interesting to know.
Oh,
Why
these things
it's
can
so
barely
high.
communicate. You wouldn't have. I mean, Nim is difficult enough, let alone, and she gestures. I doubt that it was even capable of thought in the way that you and I think of it.
So, if it's so difficult to communicate with them, how would somebody have manipulated it into killing in the first place?
You think that's what happened? I mean, these sorts of malfunctions can take all forms. It could have just been committing violence randomly.
Why would it have gotten hold of a rare magical item?
Who knows how these things happen? Gone to works in mysterious ways. I'm just glad that it's out here and people are safe. We'll look into it. I plan on dissecting this thing myself.
There's no use talking to her. She's an idiot. We should leave.
Excuse me?
I wasn't talking to you.
She scowls at you. She says, I think you should leave, yes.
Yes, we'll be on our way. Thank you. Hopefully you can learn something. If you do, please let me know. And I guess I'll leave.
Yeah, she watches you go with her arms folded like, I don't know about them.
Barely
Yeah,
capable of thought.
As I leave, I say, I don't suppose you've given any thought to what it is that you would have me do to fulfill my purpose. You mentioned so before.
You murder oathbreakers.
No, I was speaking to the Dragonborn, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Oh,
Because she
before
promised last time, she was like, we could find things for you to do here to fulfill your purpose. I'm like, my purpose is murdering people. So I was just curious if she'd gotten anywhere with that.
yeah, so like before you leave, you say that to her?
Yes, sorry. I think I mumbled it.
It's okay. She says, well, you'd have to stay with us for a time. We'd have to examine you, figure out, how you work and what have you, your mechanisms. Then I'd be able to propose a hypothesis, put you to work.
Oh, I'm afraid I do not have the time right now as we are pursuing further leads. However, I may return.
Of course. Well, if you ever find yourself tiring of your current life, the House of Inspired Hands is always open to you. And she says it pointedly so that you know that she's only referring to 8.
Yeah, no. Yes. And then they turn and leave.
Okay. All right. So you head out. Where
I personally, 8, think that your task would be to slay those who hold the other gods, like maybe Gond, over the Lord of Bones.
I care incredibly little for any gods. None were present in my creation. None were present in the giving me of my tasks. And none helped me escape captivity.
Well, you don't know that.
I was there.
All right.
Awkward silence.
Yeah, so what are you doing? What's the plan? What are you going to do now?
Here are the options. If we find ourselves in a situation where we think we might want to go as quickly as possible to see what has transpired in this tomb, then we should go now, but we'd have to avoid the security of the Kellambrites. And that's probably more difficult than it sounds. And it sounds pretty difficult.
Unfortunately, were I required to sneak, I would need time to prepare that.
I tried to sneak out of there many, many times. It's not as easy as it looks.
So what you're saying is we should wait until morning and then go then?
Probably. Unless you want to murder people, which I don't think you do, personally, from experience.
I prefer to keep my violence within the bounds of what's necessary, yes.
Then we should wait till morning.
All right. Then that's what we'll do. We'll head immediately over to the Castellanter tomb once the graveyard is open.
I don't suppose we want to do any research on them beforehand.
The Castellanters? Do you have any
Yes.
texts or connections that could... Oh,
I've been
I
hearing-
know who would know about the Castellanters, if anyone would.
Who?
Gillester.
Gillester might, yes.
Not a
possible.
bad idea. Just whichever order we do the two things in. If the
Oh,
crypt-
Jalester will be at the yawning portal. Doesn't have to be in the morning.
and we might as well knock these things out in as most timely fashion as possible.
But last time he was so blech about the Lord's Alliance.
Jewel looks it's like, you know, who else would probably know? Floon.
Floon,
Okay, let's go see Jalester.
Floon does know his way around a noble or two.
Yeah, and that's gets Macaria to be like, fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So are you going home or are you going to go to
I think it's yawning portal to ask questions, and then what was the other one we wanted to talk to Jalester, and then home, I think.
We
Yeah.
want to ask about the
Yes.
Cathalanters. So
Yeah.
Yeah, just in
anyone might
case.
know something about the
Okay.
Cathalanters.
Just in case it ends up being like one of those sort of crypt turns into a secret passage, turns
was
into
gonna
a
say-
dungeon.
I was gonna
Fucking-
say I'm definitely in one of those vibes where I'm like, I should tell Vajra Safar about this.
Yeah,
so that she knows what the fuck we're doing.
an NPC walks by and it's like, "Do you want to save your game? This is your last chance for a while." Like, no, that doesn't actually happen.
Many cutscenes will play in succession.
Yep.
So if people are going to the bar, I'm gonna go to the Blackstaff Tower.
Yeah, I would prefer to go with you because we're not doing any dangerous things. I think
No, I think we can kind of diverge because it's just talking.
Sure, yeah, that's
I
fine.
don't like going to the bar because I can't participate.
Because
in
you
it.
don't drink, yeah.
Makes me feel weird.
Tragic.
Jewel, do you want to go kiss ass at the Blackstaff Tower, or would you prefer to drink with me?
I mean, when you put it that way.
I would rather jump into a nest of scorpions.
Can I have
think I'll
neither?
just go home. No, it's
I
like,
think I'll just.
let's go to the yawning portal.
All right. So you head for the yawning portal. All right, cool. So at the yawning portal, it is evening now, so it's busy. There's lots of people. It's raucous as usual. And things seem to be in relatively full swing. There are a few employees of the place that are putting up like garlands of chains of paper chains of gold and pink paper, wrapping them around the banisters of the upper area. They've put up a big wooden painted sun up on one wall. It looks like they're redecorating the place because it's summer. It's the beginning of Flame Rule, which is the name of the month that we're in, as we discussed. And on the 3rd, from the 3rd to the 5th, the long weekend in Flame Rule, is a festival called Sornin. And on Sornin, it's a festival of Joaquin and Lathander, used for planning businesses, making treaties and agreements, and receiving envoys from unknown lands and from one's traditional foes. It's a holiday during which much wine is drunk, and during Sornin, as the saying goes, my enemy is like family to me. So yeah, Sornin is a time of making peace with one's enemies, and it starts in two days, I think, because today is the second of Flame Rule, so it starts tomorrow. So they're finishing up their decorations and sort of setting out the little shrine to Joaquin and the sigil to Lathander. It's considerably more cheerful in here than it usually is. Yeah.
Annie.
Yeah. So
Huh.
people seem like they're in a pretty good mood, looking forward to Sornin.
When Jewel gets there, she's gonna look for Jalester, or she'll also accept Floon.
Okay. All right.
She'll accept Floon. Oh no!
So
So it's Floon there.
you want to take a look around. Y'all kind of cold-shouldered Jalester, so he's not really available to you. He's sort of not around. You've gone down a different path. But yes, of course you see Floon Blagmar. Floon is sitting at a table.
Oh, look at the Floon.
Floon is sitting at a table with a bunch of other foppish dandies. And they're all talking and laughing and having drinks.
Oh, I really wish I'd prepared silence.
As long as you used it after we talked to them. On the plus
All right.
side, he might give you a free drink.
I need many.
Balloon!
So you walk over and he hears his name, and also at another table, someone looks over and they're like, oh, they're not talking to me.
No, that one.
And Floon turns and he says, Jewel, my goodness, it's so nice to see you. Friends. And he turns to the table and he gestures and he says, this is my dear friend, Jewel. I've told you all about her. Look, Jewel, it's so lovely to see you. And the other dandies are all just like, oh, hello, and like waving, and like he says, what can I do for you, Jewel? Please have a seat.
She
one of the other dandies gets up and like pulls a seat out. And when he does, a third one pulls out a handkerchief and like dusts the seat off for you.
Then she immediately climbs on it, putting her feet on the chair.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
The way she perches. And then she reaches for whatever drink they have. Like someone probably has a drink at the table, and she'll just like take it and like hand it to Makaria.
So
Oh,
here's the
thank
thing: as soon as you like, almost like they're psychic. Like as soon as you're like, oh, I could use a drink, someone is already pouring one for you and like is handing it to you. And
To me?
no, to Jewel.
She passes it back to Makaria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably slightly subtly, like, oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, and so you're surrounded by these suddenly like very attentive, very handsome men.
Don't pull out a chair for me or
It's the
anything.
worst nightmare.
And Floon says, so, Jewel, my savior, how could I help you this evening?
Just wanted to say hello and ask if you knew anything about a noble family.
And they all start kind of like tittering a little, and Floon is like, oh, darling, we know all sorts of things about nobles, especially nobles in Waterdeep. Did you have a particular noble family in mind that you wanted us to gossip about, or just in general?
Yes. Actually, the Casa Lanter, I don't know if they're even still around.
And when you say that, there's a whole bunch of like eye rolling and like, oh my goodness, those people. And like, you get the impression that this gang of dandies doesn't really like the Castellanters very much. And
what makes you roll your eyes? So
Floon says, oh, Jewel, darling, you are in the wrong company. First, those deplorable Growlhunds, and now the Castellanters? It's like you're going down the list of Waterdeep's worst families.
We're not on this list to make friends. They've just crossed our path.
And he's like, oh, just crossed their path. We've crossed paths with the Castellanters more than once, haven't we, boys? And there's like some like, oh goodness, those guys. And he says, well, I hope you're not looking to be treated respectfully or paid well.
If I looked to be treated respectfully, I wouldn't hang out with you, Floon.
And he looks at you and he says, I'm wounded, Makaria. I've never said anything but nice things about you and your friends.
Yes, well, here I am standing, and someone pulled a chair out for Jewel.
And
she's a cat.
He rolls his eyes and he says, oh, it's just business, honey. We know we're barking up the wrong tree with you. And they all kind of giggle like, yeah, we're not going to get any money out of her. She's unseducible.
Like Jewel is like, I'm more seducible.
And right, so you turn and one of them has like started like petting your paw or whatever, and he's just looking at you like, oh, you're so pretty.
Moves her hand away and like smacks him with her tail. Like,
yeah.
No, not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so besides them being mean and disrespectful, are they known for having treasure or being involved with gangs? Are they part of guilds? I don't know. What interesting, useful gossip can you give me, or I'm just going to leave?
It depends on what you find interesting and useful. Are you going to be spending any time in their bedrooms?
Oh Lord, I hope not.
And he nods.
Not
and
unless
says,
they're asleep and I'm about to murder them.
a wise choice. The Castellanters are into some pretty messed up stuff.
Like,
And they all kind of like look at each other like, ugh, we don't want to relive it. There's a few people who are obviously they've experienced the delicate touch of the Castellanters on their like personally. And
never mind.
He says, best
Riches, fortunes.
He says, well, I mean, they're nobles. They do have those things, riches, fortunes, what have you, but they're stingy. They don't like to pay. You get what I'm saying? They're nasty individuals. We've all blacklisted them. I haven't seen Victoria or Amalia in months.
Okay. She like records the names and like they're
Do they
like
Are they
help me.
are they friendly with the Growlhuns, or are they antagonistic?
Oh, you're misinterpreting the relationship. The Growlhuds love the Castellanters. All kinds of these scummy lesser nobles think they're just the greatest. I don't personally find cruelty very attractive, but you know how these nobles are. Enough money and it'll turn the brain. The Growlhuns were always sucking up to the Castellanters.
So the Castellanters are higher on the pecking order of nobles.
Oh, darling, of course. I thought you lived in Waterdeep.
She hasn't been here for very long.
I don't pay attention to what nobles are doing unless it involves something I might be able to steal from them.
Well, if you are asking me, which obviously you are because you're here talking to me and you came over here, I think you need to steer clear of the Castellanters. They're dangerous people.
Okay. What relationship did they have to the Never Embers?
And so a couple of like you see one of the dandies is about to speak and Floon gives him a look like, hey, shut up. And he says, we don't gossip about the Never Embers. Ridier's a dear friend of mine and I don't want to drag his name through the mud. It's muddy enough as it is.
It's not. I'm not asking for gossip. I'm just asking how they got along or didn't.
Darling, there's always ears listening. Little mice squeaking gossipy. And he like looks around at the table like, you know, bitches, keep your mouth shut. They've had this conversation and Floon has been like, yo, keep my man's name out your mouth. And so he won't gossip about them. But he says, well, say what you will about Ridier's father. But Ridier, I've never seen him anywhere near the Growlhuns or the Castellanters. He's a better sort of man.
What about the father?
As far as he goes, well, everybody's heard stories. I didn't know the man very well myself. I don't mix business and pleasure.
Isn't your business pleasure?
And he laughs and he's like, oh, well, you know. And like he's like, I don't kiss and tell. Like he's very playing coy, like, ooh.
Jewel like sort of shrugs and is like, thank you for your time and your company. She's like, what would Rin say in this situation to be the most polite?
Yeah, right. So Rin, where are you while this is taking place? You're watching Jewel. Like Jewel is literally like a kitten surrounded by kindergarten students. Like they all just want to like pet you and like be really close to you and coo over you because you're so cute. And they're all just kind of like gathered around you, like, yep, acting like they love you.
I was headed to the Blackstaff's tower.
Wait, so you're not even, you're just not there.
there.
Okay, you didn't even go. Okay. So Jewel, when you're like, what would Rin do? I wish Rin were here.
Yeah, it's definitely like, what would Rin do? And like sort of tries to say her goodbyes in the most pleasant and proper manner of like, thank you for your time and your company, and like takes another drink and hands it off to Makaria.
So what I think happens is that they self-defeat because they all start pitching you at the same time. They're all like complimenting you, and it's just like a susurrus of like nice kind of schmarmy words because they're all kind of like, you could like, they all have a line, right? And they all try it at once. So one of them is like, oh, you could keep enjoying our company, or like, oh, stay and have another drink, or like, you know, like they're all trying really hard to get you to like hang out more.
Well, if you ever decide that you'd like to take your life into your hands.
And they all kind of just go quiet and look at you like, Is that a threat or what? I just
Like waves and runs.
okay. Yeah, I need to slip. The two of you just slip away. Okay, great. Cool. All right. So, meanwhile, Rin, did you go by yourself or did you go with 8?
I think it came with me, right?
Yes, we both went.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're at Blackstaff Tower. It's late, so you haven't been here at night before. And I think that when you walk in the yard, there are a bunch of people clustered around a big like brass tube that's pointed up at the sky, and they're all like talking and like comparing notes about something. And so you walk in and into the yard. And yeah, maybe there's like a look of recognition as you go by. Yeah, you I don't know, how do you find the Blackstaff? Do you just tell?
I mean, yeah, the same way I found the Blackstaff every other time, which is inform someone that I'm here to see her and then hope that she replies, basically, with some summoning.
Okay.
So it's like walk up to the group of people that are there that have like, nodded acknowledgingly or what have you, and say, I just want to keep the Blackstaff informed on our comings and goings currently. I was hoping to speak to her.
And he like chuckles, and then quietly, because everybody else is like focused on this thing, and he whispers, he says to you, he says, if you're worried about the Blackstaff keeping track of your comings and goings, I wouldn't worry about it. If you're important enough for her to be paying attention to, I guarantee she knows where you are at any given time. She's clever that way.
Yes, well, I suppose you're right. I should have thought of that.
He shakes his head and he says, no, don't feel bad about it. It's just wizards, right?
There's like a nervous laugh from Rin, like, oh yeah, wizards, yeah. Definitely. She says, either way, I would like to just, if she's around.
We have some questions about where we were going as well. Is that not right?
Yes.
He says, well, I haven't seen her in a while. She gets called off on business sometimes. That's what it means being the Blackstaff, I guess. If you're looking for her, she'll know, but he shakes his head. She's not here now.
All right. Well, thank you. And we'll forge onward. Like, goodbye, I suppose.
Yeah. He's like, good luck. He turns back to the telescope.
Leave.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So the next day, you're gonna go and check out the City of the Dead.
That is the plan, I believe.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's take our last break here, and then we'll close up the next little bit when we get back. Sound good? Cool. All right. Stick around. We'll be back with the City of the Dead in just a minute.